parshas Vayakhel. Vayakhel Moshe Kol Adas Bnei Yisrael. He gathered the entire congregation of Yisrael. V'yomar lehem Elad Dvorim Shetziva Adonai Lasos Osom. These are the things which Hashem has commanded you to do. Rabbi Yochanan says in Shabbos, how do we know the Lamed Tes Malachos?
How do we know from the building?
Here's the answer. Rabbi Yochanan didn't give such an answer. It's such a simple answer. How do we know the 39? We learned the Malacha from the Mishnah, but how do we know the number's 39? Right? How do we know it's 39? So Tosfos explains what's the question. The question is, in the Mishkan you had avos and you had toldos. You had primary and you had derivatives. Now the question is, let's say a person knows 2 toldos, or an avin tolda, what is it? How many chatos are you liable for? For instance, a person would prune and water and plant during one unawareness, thinking it's Sunday. How many chatos are you liable for?
3.
1.
That's the
Why? Because the av is planting. Pruning is a derivative of planting. That's an avin tolda. Avin tolda. Tolda is a derivative because the effect of pruning is the same as planting. Right? So therefore, because you know the exact number, you know what classifies as a derivative and what to classify as an independent malacha. So therefore, the number is crucial to know how many are there. 50 malachos. Then we'll start breaking. Even the tolda could become an av. Maybe pruning is like, for instance, you put a sapling in the ground. What is that? That's planting. You put a seed in the ground. That's planting. But one's a seed, one's a sapling. It's the same malacha. They're both avos. The primary malacha. Watering, everybody agrees, is only that's a derivative, because watering enhances the growth. If you go and you have marshes and you torch the marsh in preparation for planting, that's choresh. Why is that choresh? Well, what's plowing? Plowing, you prepare this earth for planting. When you scorch or torch the surface to remove all the weeds and all the marsh, that prepares the ground for planting. So that's a told of choresh. That's a derivative of choresh. So how do we know 36? Rabbi Yochanan says Eila hadvarim. Numerically, Eila is what? Is 36.
36, 39.
Right. I'm giving it a calculation. Aleph 1, Lamed is 30, A is 5, 36. Had Dvorim. Dvorim is 2, right? That's 38. Ha is 39. The things. He already makes the calculation. 36. Dvorim without the A is 2. Additional 2, that's 38. And the Hay adds a 39th.
Why is 2? Why is 1, 2?
Because minimally, whenever you speak about plural is always minimally 2.
But you're not using any kind of gematria there.
No. No gematria. No gematria. That's that. But I want to tell you, is Rabbi Yochanan's words. So that's how I know the number of malachos on Shabbos is 39. Therefore, everything else are subcategories of those primary malachos. Okay.
Is born the best word they could have used? I mean, obviously, these are the things the Abish commanded us to do. These are tzibor. These are commandments.
No. I understand. Elad Dvarim. These are the malachos.
It doesn't say malachos. It says dvarim of things.
I understand that. Well, we'll see. Sheishem taseh b'lachtecho. So what we're calling malacha. What's malacha? Lifting weights. Malacha is creative activity. Okay, so that's malacha. Sheishem taseh b'lachtecho. Yom Hashi Shabbos l'Hashem Elokecho. That means you're not permitted to do malacha. Right? The dvarim is referring to malacha. The malacha. That's the continuing. If you take a look, if you have Balaturim says over here, Dorsh Mikan, quotes the Gemara, it's Rabbi Yochanan, Shloshim v'teisha malachos l'Shabbos kiminyon Eiler. The numerical value Eiler, Udvorim mashma shnayim, v'hei da'advorim l'rabos echarei lametes. It's quoting the Gemara. V'afilu kam makomus ksiv Eiler advorim v'lashinei shani hochot ksiv melech mishkan. Yeah.
So the 39 malachos that were used
To build the Mishkan.
Right. So what if they know there are 39 malachos for the 39
Many,
activities in the Mishkan.
many more things in the Mishkan. Many more things. Except some things they did in the Mishkan are told us they're not of us.
Right, but I'm saying, but the main creative.
But how do you know? There are many things. For instance, there's borer. That's right. That takes it. Then they have a thing called merakid. When you put it on and you shake it, it's the same locha, but it's a different stage. So how do I? Maybe that should be a tolda, but it's classified as an av. And so therefore you have to know exactly how to classify what is what. And the difference is if you do two things, and if they're two melachos, then even behilam echod, even if you're unaware, you have to bring two chatos. But if it's a derivative of one, it's a subcategory, and you're not aware of Shabbos, then you bring one chatos.
No, I understand, but I guess my point is that we knew before there were 39 malachos.
No, you didn't know that. You didn't
know that.
There were many more malachos they
I'm
did.
saying, but we designated that there are 39.
Yeah, but what's that based upon? It's based on Edel HaDvorim.
Right, exactly. And then we go back and see which ones are those 39.
So that's the breakdown.
So we didn't go first decide how many.
It was irrelevant because they built the Mishkan during the weekday. Whether it's an Ava, totally you're not permitted to do it on Shabbos. You're not permitted. It's creative. Whether it's the primary or it's a subcategory of it. Can't do either.
Right.
Right, okay. This only has relevance if a person violates Shabbos inadvertently. How many chatos does he have to bring?
How many todos are there?
Doesn't say how many todos there are. Okay. Sheishish yomim teosim melocho. 6 days teoseh. The melocha should be done. Doesn't say tasa you should do. Ubiyam hashvi yeh lochem kodesh. The 7 days should be considered for you kodesh. Shabbos Shabbos Hashem. So Rashi had said in the parshas what Shabbos Shabbos on that not only is melechas avoda not permitted, even melechas ochel nefesh, Yom Tov, food-related activities are permitted. But this is like a total refrain. And it's Lashem called osav melochem yumos. Whoever does melocha is yumos. Rashi. Sheishes yomim higdim lohem asor Shabbos letziv melechas hamishkan. Okay. The prohibition of Shabbos is what precedes Melechas HaMishkan Lomar She'eina Docha Shabbos. Doesn't supersede the Shabbos. As important as the Mishkan is, doesn't override the Shabbos. We discussed this last week. If the Mishkan already is built, in the Mishkan there was Chilul Shabbos, right? They would slaughter a korban. They would burn the korban. They did many things which were contrary to the Shabbos. So to create the location for the Shekhinah that you're not permitted on Shabbos. Once it's created, then you're violating the Shabbos on behalf of Hashem. You have the difference. Prior, relative to Hashem, the Shekhinah is not here yet. So you're doing Melacha on Shabbos. God refrained, you're not. Once the Mishkan's built, the context of Mishkan is a different reality. Now we're dealing with a location of Shekhinah. In the location of Shekhinah.
That Shabbos, if Mishkan is built, you can slaughter, you can do all of it.
Correct. Whatever's permitted, you do. Right. It's only to create the location for the Shekhinah to enter. Because so when the Shekhinah is here, it's obvious it's for Hashem. So it's not a question, it's not contrary to what to Hashem is the creator. Lo svar reish kol moshe seichem. Okay? Now this whole discussion in the Gemara. And we say you're not permitted to do any melacha. Any creative melacha. So what do we have to single out? Kindling. Right? So it's a machlok slim. Lo svar reish kol moshe seichem v'yom HaShabbos. So Rashi cites the Gemara. It's a machlok tanoim. Lo svar reish yishmer senom havora lelav yotzos. That the reason why there's a single out, if one kindles on Shabbos, every other melacha carries the death penalty in Koris. Kindling is only a love. If you strike a match on Shabbos, you light something, you light a candle on Shabbos, you manipulate the wick, an oil candle, and burns better, it's only a love. One doesn't bring a chatos. One does not bring a chatos. Yeshomrim lechalik yotzos. What does that mean, lechalik yotzos? Normally, what's the halacha? The person eats chaylev. Chaylev carries the liability of what? Of koris. If a person violates koris inadvertently, what do you have to bring? Chatos. Let's say a person eats 16 kzesim of chaylev. Chaylev, how many chatos you bring? One. Why? Because you're repeating the same lav. What is the lav of doing melacha on Shabbos? Lo sasko melacha. So if that is the case, even if you violate all 39 malachos, you should be only obligated to bring one chatos, because it's just repetitively violating the same lav. The Torah singles out Losvaro Eishno, that even though it's stated as one lav, it's broken into separate categories. Each malacha you see is a separate lav. Therefore, if you violate the 39 b'shogeg, without where it's Shabbos, you have to bring 39 chatos. That's l'chalek. You're taking the lav and breaking it up, as if it's separate lavim, each malacha. That's l'chalek yotzos. If you take a look in the Sivs Chachomim, I don't know if the art scroll has that. Sivs Chachomim says, you would think if you did all 39 malachos during one unawareness, you'd only be liable for one chatos. It goes to separate them. Just as Havor is one of the 39 malachos. And what if you've inadvertently violated, you have a liability of chatos, of kol shi'av malocho, anything which classified as av malocho, chayv oleo b'fnei atzmo, you're obligated to bring an individual chatos for that particular malocho. Okay, it's Gemara. That's the meaning of l'chalik yotzos. So the question is, according to the opinion that it's singled out, that's only a lav. Why is it a lav? Right? Why aren't you liable for a kori? So it means it's best like all the others. So there's a famous Rabbeinu Tam in Shabbos. Rabbeinu Tam says that Havora is Malocha Gerua. Now, Gerua, it's a deficient Malocha. It's not like all the others.
Right.
Why? To be liable for Shabbos, you have to have something which is called Meleches Moshe. It has to be constructive. What if it's destructive? Right? When you take fuel and you burn it, you're destroying. Burning is a destructive act, except it's creative in terms of what it facilitates. So maybe when you plow, you're preparing the ground for planting. You put the seed in the ground, that's creative. You water it, you prune it, whatever it is. Here, the act itself is destroying in itself. So you'd think, even though it facilitates something positive, but that's not enough to be obligated to be liable for the death penalty. So that's what Torah is revealing. In truth, it is that way. That's why it's only a lav. You're not liable for the death penalty. The other opinion says, no, it has to be singled out, because you may think that you should not be, you won't be chayav. The Torah sings that, say you are chayav. Right? That's the malacha grua. What's another malacha grua? Similar. Transporting. But not for the same reason. Every malacha is creative in its own right. When you transport something from domain to domain, it's the same object. You're just changing locations. So it's like an unusual type of malacha. It's not similar to every other malacha. Right? Therefore, Tosas says in Shabbos, the Gemara says, how do we know you're not permitted to transport from Rosh Hashanah to Rosh Hashanah? Then it says, now how do you know you're not permitted to transport from Rosh Hashanah back to Rosh Hashanah? It has to bring a source for every one of those activities. So Tosas says, what do we need a source? If you're not permitted to take from one domain to another, so what difference make? What direction are you going? You're going from Rosh Hashanah to Rosh Hashanah, vice versa. So Tosas says, because it's an unusual type of malacha. Because you're not doing it, you're not making any change in the object. You're only changing its location. So maybe it's only one direction, not the other direction. Therefore, the Gemara has to bring sources that, regardless of what direction you're bringing, you're transporting it. That's the malacha of transporting.
Where's the creative act?
You don't need. That's what the Torah. That's why. But that's why I have to have a source. There's no creativity here. Nothing. Just change of location. That's enough that you should be liable for the malacha. That nevertheless, that's classified as a malacha. Okay. What I'm telling you is Rabbi Tam in Tosas and Davesom and Aleph and Shabbos.
That's the only sticking his hand in, get something, and the ball, sticking her hand out to give, so that.
Okay.
We just learned about the grusha. You can't burn her on Shabbos. You should be able to do that.
The grusha.
The
woman committed adultery.
No,
the Bas Kohen.
The Bas Kohen.
But she committed adultery.
Right.
You can't heat the lead.
You think you could burn her on it?
No,
because it's a halakha, but you can't do it. It's an exception. The same thing with this mila. So cutting, so you would figure that.
That's an argument. Okay. Okay. How it's like a wellspring, or a broken pipe. What is it?
Broken pipe. A broken pipe.
Okay. How it's a plumber. You know that.
It's like the first grade with show and tell. I'm just trying to.
Moshe coming today?
He's supposed to be back. He's supposed to take his stuff back. He's supposed to land today.
Where did he go?
He went to Israel.
Moshe was in Israel.
Yeah, his son's wife. So her mother passed away. So he went to do.
Right here. Really have a skeleton crew this morning. Very schwach. Have to be mechazik the Olam.